I read 72 books over the last few years, and I'm going to tell you which ones helped me improve my wealth, my health, my personal finance, and overall life goals. I'm going to give you 5 to 7 of my favorite books. The first book I would recommend for you and for anyone to read is this baby right here, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This book really opened up my eyes about assets versus liabilities, about rich dad and poor dad. Some of the key lessons I got from this book is that the rich don't work for money anymore. Financial literacy is the key to financial freedom, and you can mind your own damn business and get there in your own way. So one of the biggest thing that resonates with me with this book personally on a personal level is, I'm a high school dropout. I dropped out of high school, and this book really teaches you that the school system sometimes is not the answer, and it's okay, which is totally different thinking from what we're taught as kids is, you got to go to college and become a doctor and that's the only way to be successful. But that's bullshit. This book really resonated with me to the fact with, hey, if high school and school is not for you and going to chase money is, that's okay. Just make sure you know the roadmap to do so. This book breaks that roadmap down for you better than anything. And if you're starting your journey to personal finance, wealth, and growth and creation in the financial world, this book is a starting point for you. A must read, 10 out of 10. Number 2, The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss. Now, before I go on about this book and how awesome it is, I would actually recommend that you do the audiobook for this one. Timothy Ferriss does his own book reading and the audiobook for this, and he does a phenomenal job of adding his personality and a few extra zingers and curse words in there that really throw the personality through the book. It is unbelievable. So I 10 out of 10 recommend The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss, but I would suggest you do the audiobook where he reads it to you and throws out a personal touch, and it is amazing. The 4-Hour Workweek personally resonated with me because it told me that your standard thinking of working 40 hours a week until you're 50 years old and die is total bullshit, right? You can try and do everything in your power so you can work less and earn more and live the life that you want. I always talk about how financial freedom and time freedom are the only two freedoms that I really want in life, so I can spend more time doing what I love with my friends and family. And that's exactly what Timothy Ferriss goes over, how he went to building an empire of making $40,000 to $80,000 a month while he was salsa dancing in a competition in South America. And if he can build that kind of time freedom that he valued more than work, then so can you. I try to automate everything in my life that I can, or ask for help or pass it off to anything that I can so I can achieve this same lifestyle, right? Why do you think I have a social media manager? Why do you think I automated everything for my max options trading company? It's so I can live the best life possible and have the time and financial freedom that I want so I can go salsa dance in South America in a competition. So I'm going to switch it up on you. I could do take that route with like Rich Dad, Poor Dad the whole time and, 4-Hour Work Week, Richest Man in Babylon, which is probably next, but I could go on with that like personal touch ones with the metaphors and this stuff, but I'm going to actually just go into a dig in it yourself workbook. This is the Everything You Need to Know About Rental Real Estate Properties by Brandon Turner from Bigger Pockets. Now, if you are a real estate guy, girl, and you want to get into the real estate game, you have to know who Bigger Pockets is and the Bigger Pockets podcast. It is everything you've ever wanted to learn, know, and more about real estate from A to Z and Z back to A. This book right here broke down so much about real estate that just after reading it and listening to about 100 of Brandon's podcasts on Bigger Pockets on Spotify, I actually went and had 4 real estate properties within a year. And that really changed my life. That opened up everything from it. So, you talk about wanting to get into real estate, but actually diving in and learning and making all those mistakes along the way, he helped clear a lot of that shit up for me. He is amazing. 10 out of 10 recommend. If you're trying to create massive generational wealth, you need multiple streams of income. Real estate is 99% 90% of the time going to be one of those streams of income. So dig into Bigger Pockets, dig into Brandon Turner and learn, use all these resources like his books and his free podcast to get the knowledge you need to fucking succeed. I personally was able to build over $1 million rental real estate portfolio just from Bigger Pockets and this guy right here. Number 4, Grant Cardone. Listen, this book right here, Sell or Be Sold, written during the 2008, 2009, 2010 like financial crisis. Grant comes out and says, you're all being bitches. It's either sell or be sold. Don't get pushed over, 10x your life. His books are phenomenal. If you need hype, if you need motivation, if you need information, if you need arrogance, cockiness, everything that you're looking for, elegance and informational, motivational speeches, read Grant Cardone's books. Sell or Be Sold was the first one that I read. I then went into the 10X Rule, the Millionaire Booklet, the Closer's Guide, but none have I read. I don't have it in front of me here, but the Be Obsessed or Be Average, I may have listened to him do his own audiobook 15 times, and I'm not exaggerating. It is one of my favorite things of all time to listen to Grant Cardone read his own book, and he goes off with spurts and rants and the funniest shit, and it is so recommend it. We have a very similar background. We both talk about one of our parents dying young. We both talk about some drug abuse in our early days. So when I hear him talking about his like triumphs and against all the odds and all the things that he did, being a 45-year-old car salesman to a fucking 60-year-old billionaire, GC is the hype that we fucking need. To be honest, I'd vote for the guy if he went political. So Sell or Be Sold, go into the 10X Rule, go into Be Obsessed or Be Average, and 10X your fucking life and stop being a bitch. Number 5, if you don't know who Dale Carnegie is or Carnegie Hall or anything like that, you are gravely mistaken, and that means you've never read self-help literature. If you've never read self-help literature, you might not know who this gentleman is, but he is one of the forefathers of it, of really designing a roadmap for you to be a better person. And this book right here, How to Stop Worrying and to Start Living, is one of the best books that I've ever read in my entire life. This book right here really addresses one of the lead physical illnesses that most people get sick from, and they don't even know that. It's called worry. Worrying is an actual physical illness, and in this book, Dale covers the ways that you can stop worrying, stop being anxious, and really go out and live your most fulfilling life possible. I have terrible anxiety. Big Daddy Max has one of the most fucking worst cases of anxiety ever. It's been with me for many years, and I live with it day to day. And books like this, these self-help books that really dig into my mindset because he knows what he's talking about because they suffered from the same thing, it helped me get over my own physical and personal illnesses so I can move forward with the other aspects of my life and overall live a healthier, more beneficial lifestyle to myself. So if you fucking are suffering from worry, if you're suffering from anxiety or, any of those illnesses that we put on ourselves, if your alarm system is just a little off, read this book. Dale Carnegie is the best at explaining how you can stop worrying and start living your life. And it's written so long ago. And the fact that those principles still hold true today proves that it's that good. Here's a bonus round. So these are also books that I've read that are in our world of awesomeness, right? This is a good one by Mark Hansen, Everything is Fucked. Number 1, first shout out for good books. I definitely would recommend reading. You see these in every bookstore. They're totally worth a pickup and a buy. How to Win Friends and Influence People. An amazing book about the psychology of being a good person to the point where you can influence those around you to enjoy your company and stop being the miserable prick that you are. The Richest Man in Babylon. What a wonderful book talking about finance in the old setting of Babylon and the Babylonian parables or whatever. This book is phenomenal. It's a very small book. You could probably read this in a day and take out the metaphors and the analogies from it and apply them to your own life, whether you're the richest man in Babylon or you're the neighbor. Brandon Turner again, the Burr method. If you are on a real estate path, you have to know the Burr method. Buy, rent, rehab, refinance, and repeat. It is the golden ticket to financial freedom if you're getting into the real estate game. This strategy right here is a great way to keep your equity in your pocket and get cash flowing properties at minimal to no money out of your pocket. 10 out of 10 recommend if you're getting into real estate, you need to know the Burr method. So The Millionaire Next Door is a great book because this book right here, this book kind of is the implication of secrets that the millionaire next door has. Things that you wouldn't know that a millionaire goes through. Everyone looks at the rich and they're, oh my God, life is so easy. But it was the great Puff Daddy who said, mo money, mo problems. Deep Work by Cal Newport. This is amazing. So I have ADHD and I can't focus on a fucking thing because one of the 80s is just poking in my mind at all times. I'm all over the place, whatever. But this book here really tunes in that how much you can accomplish in just 45 minutes of deep, concentrated work. And you don't need to be like Big Daddy Max where I'm all over the place for 4 hours to get one task done. You can simply do deep work, focus your mind, and use ultimate concentration to accomplish the tasks quicker and more efficiently than you ever have. So if you're a business owner, I definitely recommend you read Deep Work and use these principles and techniques for your team to try and get the most production possible. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This is great. He covers all 7 habits of highly effective people. This not only changed the life for me, I think this book changes the life for almost every reader that reads it, because who here thinks that they're truly being their most effective self? Nobody. Unless you're busy from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night and you're just doing everything and anything you possibly can to better yourself, you need to read this book and find out one of the 7 traits that maybe you're missing that can help you become a highly successful and effective person. The reason I sought out reading over like Google and YouTube and things like that was because I wanted to know, like, you know, the authors in these books, right? They have that personal, they've been there, done that. It's kind of like you're buying a mentor wrapped up in a binder. So that's what I wanted to read these books for. I wanted to know the route to success, and I had to hear it from the people that have done it through their books. Yes, I could have gone to Google and YouTube, but where do you start with that, right? Like, where do you start? And you wind up going down the rabbit hole to eventually watching fucking TikToks. So I wanted to make sure that I was able to dig in and focus. So I bought all of these books and I read all these books because for me, when I got out of the military and I was $20,000 in debt living in my brother's living room with not a fucking penny into my name, no job, no car, no nothing, I had no idea what to do until my brother said, you need to start fucking getting your shit together. You should probably go buy a book to read. And then after my research of which book I should start with, I fell upon Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And Rich Dad, Poor Dad was the first book I ever bought for myself, and I got obsessed quickly. Once I read that book, I wind up starting it, and I wind up reading it in 3 days. I went to the bookstore and bought 5 more self-help books, personal finance books, personal wealth and health books, all of them. And I just couldn't stop. I was addicted. Once I kept going and I felt like I was getting the free chicken that I needed to succeed in life, I started taking massive action. I started taking the books that taught me finance, health, wealth, and all of that, and I started reading Grant Cardone, who said, all right, now that you know it, go take fucking massive action and go chase your goddamn dreams and don't stop or listen to any of the naysayers along the way. If you're looking to continue your education and you haven't gone to your Barnes and Nobles or any big library store near you recently and found a book that's what you're interested in, that's what you need to do. You need to be continuing your education at all times. No one's gonna do it for you. If you are not happy with where you're at, I guarantee you in between 2 of these backing covers and somewhere on this table is a book for you with the missing piece of the puzzle that's gonna help you get to the next book and the next book. Problems are a building block to success, and these books are a beautiful fucking staircase for you. Oh, good, because I'm sweating my fucking balls off. Fucking, you made me carry these 100 goddamn books to the desk, you scumbag. You're a fucking prick. You're a real fucking... We're done filming this one?